So, this week you have seen a preview of the new MG ZS Hybrid Plus. Now it is time to see what it is really like as we give you our full review and verdict on this car. Now, the previous generation MG ZS was a decent car, but it always felt cheap and you could easily notice the cost cutting to keep the costs down, which was its biggest failure point. Let's have a look to see if the new MG ZS is the same as the previous one, or if it has been improved from it. Welcome to Everything Cars and More. So, starting with the design at the front of the new MG ZS, and it has the latest design language that we have seen on other MGs. We get this big stylish grille that takes up most of the front end, and we get some smaller side vents that do actually have a purpose on this car. It also makes the grille look even bigger on the edge too. We also get a decent looking central air vent to finish the front end off. The headlights are plain and simple but have a decent design to them and also have LED technology within them. Now, they are connected with this chrome and black strip, which I do quite like, but personally I would have liked to have seen this as a light bar to give it a truly modern look. Finally, on top we do get the MG logo. Moving around to the side of the new MG ZS, and the design is very simple and some people would say old fashioned, but actually I do quite like this approach as it does feel refreshing and if anything helps the car stand out from the crowd better. MG has used a less is more approach with only two creases, one lower down and one just below the window line. You also get a proper chunky door handle too and some chunky door mirrors with actual indicator bulbs in them rather than LED, so it's cheap to replace when they do break. The wheel designs are a bit plain on the lower models, but the higher ones do look better, and for MG they do still look modern and unique for 2026, and they are also decent in size too. We also get a lot of matte black cladding around the wheel arches and lower sills, as well as some chrome and silver touches to finish the side view off. Moving round to the back of the ZS, and it has really grown up from the previous generation, but not too much to be a crazy concept-like design. We get these big taillight units that do look a bit dated, but they do have LED technology within them and suit this design of car quite well. The boot design does sort of have this built-in spoiler design to it, and it also houses the number plate too. Lower down on the bumper we do unfortunately get some fake exhausts, but it does give it a sporty lower design to it with its silver and matte black cladding bumper. Right, talking of exhausts, let's have a look to see what engine and gearbox options you can have with the new MG ZS. So for the MG ZS there are two versions, a normal petrol version or a mild hybrid version. Now, there isn't an electric version anymore, but that has been replaced with the excellent MG S5 EV. If you would like to watch that review, then click on the top right hand banner now. Right, let's have a look at the base model first, which is the petrol engine. This uses a 1.5 litre turbo engine which has 113 brake horsepower. This can do 0 to 62 in 12.5 seconds, which isn't the quickest on the market. What is interesting though is that it can be had with a 5-speed manual gearbox, which is getting very rare nowadays. There is also a 7-speed automatic DCT version too if you want that one. The final version would be the one that I would go for, and this is the mild hybrid setup. This uses the same 1.5 litre engine which has 193 brake horsepower, which is a lot for a car in this segment. This is mated to a small electric motor and a 1.83 kWh battery pack, so you can go around in electric mode at low speeds. This can also do 0 to 62 in 8.7 seconds, which is quite quick, and it can only be had with a 3-speed automatic gearbox. What is brilliant though is the miles per gallon reading. Its combined vigour is 55.4 mpg, which is very good for this type of car. Anyway, the price of the new MG ZS starts at £20,245, and the Hybrid Plus version starts at £22,745. Right, let's have a look to see what the interior is like. So, climbing inside the new MG ZS, and the interior is completely different to the outgoing model. To start with, the materials and the layout is much better than before, even better than some premium cars. Let's start with the dashboard design. We get this premium and sporty looking design with some Aston Martin style grille air vents. The infotainment system is embedded into the dashboard and not high up like some other cars, which means it doesn't distract you as some other cars would. It also has a quite big screen, bigger than what it looks like in the pictures actually, but it is actually very easy to navigate and works quite well. Just below that you do get some shortcut buttons, which is always nice, and in front of the passenger you also get a bit of a storage or grab handle, depending on how you look at it. In front of the driver we get a digital instrument cluster with some cool graphics on it. Again, this shows the relevant information that you need, and it is very easy to change what's in front of you. The steering wheel is the usual new MG steering wheel and has a sporty design to it with physical buttons that again are logical. The centre console is quite interesting too, and it houses a gear shifter that looks like it could have came from an Audi. And we also find a lot of storage for your phone too. You also have this driver orientated centre console, which is a nice touch and feels very premium. Finally, the seats are very comfortable and have this perforated look to them, which I am a fan of. Right then, let's have a look to see what the rear seats are like. So, climbing into the back of the MG ZS, and it is a decent place to be actually. Legroom and headroom aren't too bad, and you do get a few creature comforts too, like air vents and a USB-A port, which I'm sure kids will complain about because USB-C is now the modern thing. Now, there are some cheap plastic around the place, but then it is cheaper SUV than other rivals, and unfortunately there isn't an armrest, which is a bit of a shame really. Now, it doesn't feel too bad in the back, no, but it does feel a bit dated. A bit like a car from 8 years ago, but then that is no bad thing, as cars were definitely built better and more decent back then than cars now. Right, let's have a look to see what the boot space is like. So, opening the boot to the new MG ZS, and you're welcomed with 443 litres of space, which is quite decent for this segment. But it gets better when you fold the rear seats down to 1,457 litres of space. The seats also fold down 60-40 split, which is quite handy too. There is also plenty of storage options too, which is quite nice. So, what do I think of the new MG ZS Hybrid Plus then? Well, its design is definitely a lot better than before, and it looks a lot more premium too. The interior layout is much better than before, and again the materials feel much higher quality than before. The infotainment system works quite well, and you also do get a sporty seating position. Practicality is also slightly better than before too, although I do wish that we had some of those creature comforts like an armrest. The best part about this MG though is its price point. It is a lot cheaper than its rivals, and you also get a 7-year warranty. And the hybrid version would be the best one to go for, as you get that amazing miles per gallon figure. It is also very quick and one of the quicker cars in its segment. I would definitely consider this if you are in the market for a small size SUV. So, what do you think of this car then? Leave a comment below, and whilst you're at it, don't forget to give a like and subscribe to Everything Cars and More. I'll see you in the next video.